Now, moving on to what happened this past weekend, and we've had another Euro Tour, the German Darts Grand Prix, and Michael Smith picking up his sixth European Tour event, his first ranking event since becoming a world champion, beating Nathan Aspinall 8-5 in Monday evening's final. And it brings us on to talk about the world number one, Michael Smith. Is this a sign that he is finding his stride now as world champion?
I think so. And I did say this not that long ago. It might have even been last week, where I thought he was just needing to figure out how to get it to play as the world number one and the world champion, how to reset targets, reset goals, and recharge from having done what his life's ambition was. And maybe it just took a little bit of luck. And I don't mean to say that he'd been unlucky up until that point this year. I don't think he really had been. But there is some freedom that you get from playing a tournament where you know you've had luck. And in that first round, Adam Warder missing the darts at double 16, double 8, and double 4 to knock him out in the decider was that maybe that luck that Michael Smith needed. He came back, took out 116 to win the match, a match that he didn't deserve to win the way he was playing. But he got that little bit of luck, and maybe he played the rest of the weekend completely free of the pressures of being world number one, free of the pressures of being world champion. He kicked on as a result of that. I don't know. Only he knows that. But I think maybe he just needed that luck to just get him going, because he was absolutely phenomenal in the next match. He only beat the player who is the player of the year so far this year, Gerwyn Price. And okay, Gessie averaged an appallingly bad, by his current standards, 99.85. But Michael Smith averaged nearly 108. And yes, Michael Smith didn't reach those heights in any of the following matches, but he hit when he needed to. He broke when he needed to against Damon Hedda. After Hedda broke, they were 5-all. Hedda broke to go ahead 6-5. Remember, it's a semifinal, so it's first to 7. Michael Smith broke right back and won the match. And yes, Nathan Aspinall clawed his way back into the final, but Michael Smith hit when he needed to. He hit the double last dart in hand, the double 5. I remember the commentator saying that it looked like it just fell in because he had been missing, but he hit when he needed to, and then he closed out that match 8-5, and he averaged nearly 103 in the match. So Michael Smith figured out how to get it done. Yes, he had that luck in the first match, but I think that's what he needed. And now he can regroup. He has a title. He has a title on the big stage. He's won a night of the Premier League. He's right there in the competition to get to the playoffs this year. He has work to do, but he's in that competition. And now he's done a lot to make sure he'll be seeded for the Euro Tour events. Before this event, he was quite a bit back, about 14,000 pounds adrift of the seeds for Euro Tours 11 and 12. Well, now he's not safe because there's so much time between now and the cutoff. Cutoff's not until after the World Match Play, but he's back in those spots with a bit of a buffer, and he'll be in the other Euro Tours as well. That pressure is now gone. The pressure of having not won on the big stage in a ranking event since becoming world champion is now gone. He has done that. Yes, he hasn't done it in a major, but a Euro Tour is still a mini major. It's still 30,000 pounds to the winner. There's no longer those same, there still is pressure. There's always pressure when you're world number one, but there's not that same pressure to prove yourself each and every match like there might have been until he got one of these titles. I think now he can regroup. Now he can remember what it's like to win and know that, yes, it's going to be difficult to win every tournament. Even when Michael Van Gerwen was at his very best, he didn't win every tournament. He just won a little more than half of them. But he knows that he'll win his fair share. And if he keeps pushing along, he'll win more than anyone or almost anyone else. And that's the goal, to put himself in position every time he goes on the Aki to win. And every weekend to put himself in position to win, whether it's a Players' Championship or a Euro Tour, or when we get to June, the World Cup, in July, the World Match Play. Those are the goals, to add to the big television title haul. And these events keep you sharp. These events keep you focused. These events keep you tested and make you test yourself. And I think he's learning how to do that. And we saw that this weekend. I think he needed luck. I think he needed luck to just take a little bit of pressure off of him. He got that this weekend. And now I think we'll see why he's the world number one for the next few months.
Yeah, it's hard to argue against that. I think it was Michael Smith that once called the Euro Tours mini majors, and that tells you how important they've become. And it shows you as well, and you touched on it, how quickly things can change. Because if you'd have asked this question on Sunday evening after Michael Smith had just survived those match starts and beaten Adam Warner 6-5 in his first match and averaged 85, is this a sign that he's getting to grips with becoming a world champion? You'd have said perhaps not, but you look at how the tournament finished up for him the next day, lifting the title, and you look back to that first game with Adam, surviving the match darts and stepping up, taking out the 116. Maybe those 3 darts alone, they were a sign. And that 116 finish, that was his 6th visit of the leg. It was an 18 darter to get over the line. And it was his highest score in that leg. He went 58, 59, 83, 8500 to leave that finish. And then he took it out. And what does he do the next day? First match on of the day against Gerwyn Price, beats him 6-2 with a 107 average, and Gerwyn Price himself averaging just under the 100 mark. So it showed that he got that win, perhaps a little bit fortunate, but he went on to make the most of it. And 3 close games after that, the games with Keane Barry, had a 104 finish to get over the line in that one, 6-4. The game, as you mentioned, with Damon Hetter, 6-5 down in that one, coming back to get it back to 6-all and surviving a match start from Damon Hetter in the decider and coming back and taking out 58 to win that one. And then in the final, he survived a few scares, but he put it all together, 102 average, 8 maximums, 8 out of 13 on the doubles, and it was a complete performance. But it wasn't a complete performance the whole weekend, the whole tournament, and his averages throughout the 2 days that he played, they were up and down. But in the key moments when he wasn't playing at his consistent best, he was able to produce that finish that he needed. And he said afterwards himself, Michael, he rode his luck, had 4 match darts thrown against him, but he's made the most of it. And he said he brought his A game twice in 5 games, and I think that's a fair assessment. Certainly the 2 games he played against Premier League players, Gerwyn Price and Nathan Aspinall, he did bring his A game, and the other 3, his levels did drop, but he managed to get the job done. And there were 3 tight games. 2 of them were decided. One was 6-4, and that almost went 5-all as well. And as you say, you've spoken about Michael Smith finding his feet as world champion, adjusting to having that tag and everything that comes along with it, being the face of not just the PDC, but I guess of darts in general. And he won that title in Bahrain just after Ali Pali. But I think this title probably feels a bit more important for him to get that first ranking one under his belt since the World Championship, and in the midst of what is an awfully busy schedule, to produce that when he needed to. And I'm not sure what the energy levels are like right now, because for these players in the Premier League, they're 10 weeks into that season. We've just had 3 Euro Tours on consecutive weekends. It's a lot for the players to deal with, but a title that's going to give Michael Smith confidence the way he closed it out, performed in that final and against Gerwyn Price earlier on that final day. And as I say, how he grinded out the results in the other games as well, and winning titles, that is what any world number one expects to do. And Michael Smith did that at the weekend, and yeah, I think he should take a lot from that.